Hi everyone, it's Rax. I have a video for you today. I think it's going to be very helpful. I'm going to make a tier list of every single boon and bane in the Infernal Hordes as of Season 5 right now, after the patch that they just released that buffed the elites, which is kind of strange because elites were already the second best thing. So that way you can get the most materials and gold and Aether that you possibly can. Now, there's going to be a double win in this video because not only are we going to do a tier list, but also we're going to use paint because I want to explain a few things to you. So let's get started. So there is a phenomenon that seems to happen in the Infernal Hordes, which is very logical for Blizzard to build it this way. I don't have a bunch of data to prove it, but I've ran a lot of them and it definitely feels this way. And that phenomenon is if you pick events, then they are way more likely to spawn. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Like, so if you pick the buff the Hellborne, well, Blizzard probably gives a weighting to buff Hellborne more often. Otherwise, what the hell was the point of buffing it if they never spawn it? Of course, you can still get unlucky, buff the Hellborne, and still get like 10 spires in a row. But in general, if you pick an event, it's more likely to spawn. And as we're going to see, there are two of them, Hellborne and Elites, that are way better than everything else. So when an event that is going to be within the different waves is going to have a very, very bad ranking, not just because, and it's not just because I don't want to buff them if I see them. It's like if I see a spire, the red circle that drains your health or whatever after you buff it up, and then you have to get 30 kills within it. I would like to give the spire more Aether when they spawn, but if I pick the spire, then it's more likely to spawn spires, and it's less likely to spawn what I want. So that's why the bad events get a terrible, terrible ranking. Then, similarly, on the same logic, I think of it as taking your dog out to go potty. So if I take Callie out to go potty, she's our 11-year-old border collie. She's beautiful. If I say, Callie, go potty, she's going to think about that for about 2 seconds as she's wandering around. Then she's going to see a stick, and then she's going to see a squirrel, and then she's going to see a ball, and then she's going to see another dog. And her brain is so scrambled that she can't focus in on one thing. So what I do is I go outside and I go, Callie, go potty, go potty, go potty, go potty, go potty. Oh, and then she does it, right? It's the exact same thing here. We got to tell Blizzard to go potty. So we are going to tell them over and over and over, Blizzard, Hellborne, 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 every single time that we can. Elite, elite, elite. Kind of on the same logic that we said over here. If you keep telling it to spawn the same thing and don't flood it with these garbage ass events, they're more likely to give you the super juice thing, and then you can get over 1,000 Aether in your run. Remember, if you don't remember anything from this video, we need to tell Blizzard to go potty. Okay, so let's start in the dog shit tier. Well, that would be all of the events that are not Hellborne and not elites. So spires, dog shit. Spires, dog shit. Let's look around here. Let's give me a second here. It's going to get faster as we go. Let's look for other stuff that is not elites and not not Hellborne. Aether Lords, garbage. We don't want that. Aether Mass, garbage. We don't want that. Spires, garbage. Okay. Aether Mass, garbage. Anything else here? Anything else here? Okay. Another thing here that's very, very bad are anything that gives a buff to you. Okay, so we don't want increased movement speed. That's bad. Okay, and I think that's about it. Masses, garbage. Okay, so you get the idea. It's the spires, it's the Aether Lords, it's the masses, it's the stuff that increases your movement speed. Now remember, if I have like 8 waves of Hellborne, and then all of a sudden I get a choice of a mass or a spire or an Aether Rush, I would choose the Aether Rush because the Aether Rush doesn't tell it to spawn a mass or a spire. It's just a throwaway. I'd rather throw away my turn and pray that Blizzard remembers to go potty and keep giving me the Hellborne rather than telling it, oh, Blizzard, yeah, in Wave 9, I'd like you to give me the stupid-ass spires that pay nothing. So that's the logic on how that works. So then slightly up from here, it's very, very bad. You're just not looking for it, would be the buffs to like the bosses, like the Butcher, for example, or anything to do with the Council. So the Council is not good, but again, I think it's better than picking the bad events, because at least if you pick the Butcher, then hopefully you can kill him right away. Or if you pick the Council, that doesn't affect any events within what you're doing right now. So it should still give you a very high chance to get the things that you want. I honestly think I have too many rankings here. Let's move this up to A, even though A is way too kind, and let's delete this row and let's go like that. Okay, anything else here? Okay, here's another council thing, and there we go. So now, what are the super, super good buffs? They're not the greatest ever, but they're close. Well, that would be +1 to Hellborne. And Aether Lords. This needs to go in the worst tier possible. And then we have +2 to elites is very, very good. And then the Invigorating Hellborne is, okay, I want to talk about this one for a second. So first of all, Invigorating Hellborne, when you slay Hellborne, you get more powerful. First of all, I would almost always recommend taking this unless you have a god tier thing to take above it. And there's a few reasons why. The first reason is it makes it way more fun. You get way more powerful if you pick Invigorating Hellborne. So it just makes it more fun. It speeds up the council fight at the end. The other thing is we're telling Blizzard to go potty. Remember, we're saying Hellborne. Even though it doesn't directly buff the Hellborne, it's another reinforcement. Keep spawning me Hellborne. And that's why I put it here, which is it's very, very good, and it makes it very fun. Another side comment away from the tier list that I would make toward Blizzard. It's been my feedback when we first saw it on the PTR. It's been my feedback on the launch of the season. It's still my feedback right now. If you notice, the entire purpose of this tier list is only economical. It's only how do I get an extra Hellborne that pays me +1 Aether or +2 Aether so I can make the reward number go up. It doesn't have anything to do with actually changing how you play the Infernal Horde. To me, that's bad. Invigorating Hellborne is the only buff out of all 25 of these where it actually makes a meaningful change in how it feels to play the Infernal Horde. I think almost every buff should be exactly like Invigorating Horde, and almost no buff should be about just making the reward number go up. I would like to see them in the future focus way more on altering gameplay and making it a unique and exciting experience rather than, oh, I got 900 instead of 600 because I clicked 6 Hellborne upgrades instead of 3. So just a side comment there. And another extremely, extremely good one is 50% more events. Now, one thing to understand about the 50% more events is when you get more than 2 of these, like I've stacked 3 of them or 4 of them in a run, and you might be thinking, oh my God, this is so good. It really isn't. I find that there's like big diminishing returns on how much Aether you can farm in that 1 minute when you keep pumping this number. So the first 1 or 2 of these is super valuable. It's super godly to pick on any run. But if you pick like 3 or 4 of them, now you're starting to throw away choices. Again, it's better than picking anything below it, probably even on the 3rd try, but I'm not trying to get 3 of these per run. It's 1 or 2 only. The Hellfire Rain is very, very strong. That's for 2 reasons. One, it can pretty much pay you out up to 9 Aether per the end of the round. That adds up if you get it early. But it is a requirement to get Hellfire spawns Hellborne. We'll do anything for Hellborne. And if you can actually get another source of Hellborne, that's God tier. That's why the Burning Rain goes here. Aether Fiends Explode. I would put this, I forgot about this. I put this in B tier. Again, it encourages Blizzard to go potty, meaning it encourages them to spawn elites, which is good. Aether Fiends are the elites. So that's better than nothing, but it's still really bad. Now we're going to get to the ultimate God tier ones. Putting Hellborne into your into your map is probably the very best thing, followed by doubled elites, extremely, extremely strong, just to double them. And then the Surging Hellborne, if you can get Summon Hellborne, and then at least with 2 Surging Hellborne and Summon Hellborne, I have a 1325 solo run pre-patch. And post-patch, you can only get more because they buff some of the things like the elite boons and banes. If you can get 3 Surging Hellborne or 4 in a run with a 50% more elite, or maybe you also combine it with Hellfire and they spawn Hellborne, I mean, it has to be possible to get like a 1600 solo run. So that's incredible. This is kind of borderline, maybe it's not quite God tier, it's at the top of S tier. Giving the elites +2 is massive, especially if you can end up getting double elites. All right, so that's the tier list. It's all about Hellborns and elites. It's all about, under no circumstances, don't distract Blizzard. Don't give Blizzard a stick. Don't give Blizzard a ball. Don't give Blizzard another dog chase. Don't tell them to do the other events. And don't take worthless buffs like increasing your movement speed. That's not going to help you. In general, take everything with Hellborne and elites and 50% more elites. Remember that the Hellfire is a requirement. It's a prerequisite to get Hellfire spawns Hellborne. Very, very strong. And then all of these like boss ones are kind of mid. They're better than taking this, but they're still pretty garbage. Anyway, I hope this tier list helped you. If they have like a mid-season patch or they do a big shuffle, I'll redo this tier list if it was helpful for you guys. Thank you.